Hi, this is Rosina Starr. The title to this video is called Narcissists Are Very Greedy. And so I'm going to give some examples about how you may not realize somebody is and how you can have a way of acting to defend against that greedy behavior and sabotaging outcome. So, look at my cat. So the narcissist is greedy with their time, with their money, with their resources, with themselves, their availability, with their belongings, even your belongings if you live with them. And they want to use you up in your resources before they get to theirs. So let's say you have some vitamins downstairs and you live with a parent or a roommate or something, and you notice you have the same vitamins as the person upstairs, but yours seem to be disappearing much more rapidly. And you happen to notice the other person, you go and pick up theirs and it's completely full. So it's been half of the month and they've actually been taking your vitamins because you don't even take them every day, but yet yours is still being depleted. So they'll want to actually have the same thing as you, and instead of using theirs that they have, they'll actually take yours first. And this can happen in a relationship. It can happen with a mother-daughter relationship and a narcissistic family. You know, everybody's just going through each other's drawers, taking what they want, acting surprised if it's there, no big deal if it's gone, and that's not right. And so when you're trying to get to know somebody, well, just be aware of, your things disappearing, or, even perfumes, or, anything like that, just getting depleted without your knowing. You're not going crazy. The narcissist is probably taking it, or, using it. Your shampoos, your luxury items, whatever they can do to sabotage you and help themselves, because nothing will ever be enough. And that's why they're here, is to, take. And so if you're getting to know a guy, and this is the biggest red flag, that if ladies would stop what they're doing and not go forward in the relationship, they wouldn't have the outcome they do to have the rest of the story happen. Recently, I saw a lady who flew out to LA to visit this guy. And the number one red flag I saw right away that she didn't, and I don't care how long you talk to somebody on the phone, talk is cheap. She got to the airport and her ticket wasn't booked. Right then is when you stop what you're doing, you get your bags, you go back to your car, and you go home. He's already told you he's not a man of character by not doing the action to book your ticket and make sure that it's booked. Nobody has time for irresponsibility. Just because you're doing well as a woman doesn't mean you have to pay your own way to see the guy. Oh, I'll reimburse you later. How about reimburse me never, because I'm not going? That would have prevented her from getting robbed and, identity theft and all these string of major events. Ladies, men, if it's not going at an easy flow, if it's not going easily, a good relationship that's healthy flows easily. Do you have that grace? Do you have that rhythm? Do you dance well with your partner? Because that's what makes energy, good energy, feelings, passion, connection, attachment grow. Is those combination of things, not, hey, you got $1? Hey, can I borrow this? Hey, can I come over at this time? It's not that. It's not floating in and out of your life because they failed at something else and had buyer's remorse to somebody else. It's actually looking for the red flags first. And if you're, somebody that has been stuck in a book for 5-10 years, it's not your fault, but you should still have some awareness to what's going on around you, to be worldly that way, to see the signs. I mean, I had a guy say that I was out to dinner and he was really nosy about wanting to know where I was, and I was alone, and I took pictures of the dinner to show him. He goes, I'd like to pay for that dinner. I said, okay, great. But what's funny? The next time I saw him, he didn't offer to pay for that dinner. And then he realized he forgot to the next time I saw him. But see, ladies, we shouldn't have to be reimbursed for something. We shouldn't have to ask the guy that's supposed to care about our needs and take care of us to pay up. They should want to as a guy, and they should remember that. And if they don't, it's you passing a shit test, because every time you let somebody control your actions towards them and the way to be and give them a pass, you're giving them permission to do it again and worse, and then some. So, I mean, if somebody shows you who they are believe them. If they're going to act like they didn't receive a text message and you know it was sent from your phone, believe them. They could have deleted it when they got there. Oh, it's not on there. Look, I don't know where it is. Oh, my location's not working with my phone today. It's such a coincidence. There's always an excuse. But what's a good excuse? A better excuse to not be with somebody and not be hurting and confused with all these inconveniences? Because I believe these inconsistencies are on purpose. I believe the unavailability is on purpose. Pay your own way. I'll reimburse you just to see if you will. If a guy's not a man of his word from the beginning, do you think that's going to change? Do you think he's all of a sudden going to always... He's already setting the doubt from the beginning of, is he really going to pay for that ticket? Is he really going to come pick up our son? He's letting you know he's not dependable from the beginning. So why on earth would you expect anything else going forward with the guy? You know, but you mix with shit, you end up with shit. And then you are shit. And that's the truth. And so I don't understand how some people go through life and they want to just make the same mistakes. I did that for 10 years. And now I'm changing to not be that way anymore. I'm doing things differently because I would like to get married. I would like to have somebody to come home to every day that, you know, has some of the same interests and core values and morals and ethics and integrity that I do. You know, I would like to have a partnership and be equally yoked with a guy and see, you know, you tell them what you do for a living and it's not near what they do and it's all of a sudden a competition. There's a narcissist. Well, I don't have all that going on. Well, who said you had to? It's not a competition. So they're greedy with their time. They'll try to get out of paying you money. And if they don't want to pay you back, they'll make a fight about it. They'll throw things. They'll break your things, create a distraction, a reason to leave, accuse you of wanting to start a fight with them. You know, saying, well, why should I have to pay you back when I did this for you last week? They'll justify why they shouldn't have to or why you shouldn't be mad, or they'll even make you feel stupid for asking for your money back. Like they should even have to pay you back because you should be happy to just be with them, which is bullshit. It's complete and utter garbage. And people that tolerate that hopefully won't forever, but I mean, I don't know what to say. So they're greedy with their belongings, your belongings. I remember growing up with a mom, wouldn't let you take the dolls out of the box because the dolls were going to be worth money someday. She didn't let us have the dolls, and now the dolls are downstairs with mold and dust and filth all over them. Rodents probably went in there once upon a time running around. I mean, the dolls aren't anything that would be top dollar anyway with how awful they were stored and water damage in that basement. But all her stuff is down there, and that's all that matters to my mother is her stuff. She sits alone over there supporting a black guy with everything she ever wanted and wants for nothing, with wealth and investments, and gave nothing to anybody for 40 years to throw it away in a black guy that talks to her like trash. She does all the work supporting him and gets basically abuse and sex in return because I guess that means that much to that person. Even at her children's health and welfare's expense. You know, that man needs to submit to her. She'll instigate fights with her children through that man to physically harm her children and abuse them. So she's greedy with him as well as a pet. Narcissist is a hoarder of people, possessions, time, money. They always make sure everybody has an expiration date. And they kind of get to know you to know when that will be, but they always have so many replacements in line that you don't matter. Do they miss you? If they have to. If they run out of supply at that moment. But they're living for that moment. And greedy people will always take and not think about consequences later because they don't think about how their behavior will hurt somebody else. Greediness, you know, I asked my ex, why couldn't you just be with me? Why couldn't you just stay here and have a life with me and then have the house and like we'd planned to move me into and start again? Because he said, oh, I guess I just got greedy. Because he could have me sitting there and he could go out and do what he wanted. And the freedom he took advantage of, and he knew what he was doing to me was wrong, but he could never self-reflect. So to stop the self-reflection, it immediately will turn into a rage. Confront them on greed, confront them on anything, and it's a rage. It's a hole in the wall. It's your stuff getting destroyed. It's slamming doors. It's throwing things. It's yelling in your face, screaming so your eardrums will vibrate. It's, you know, this theatrical performance of rage and anger that's been stored up because they have so much shame and hate in them. So, the greed will show in the clothes they wear and the stinginess they show to others. It's like they don't want to give a dime to anybody, and they don't care how it affects them if they don't. They're willing to, take your last $40 and not worry if that'll hurt you when they leave because they're greedy, not because they need it. They'll break your TVs because you're greedy, because they have a new one at home and they know it, and they want to punish you for a narcissistic injury. It's greed. Greed drives them, along with the lust. So if you know a greedy person, they'll respond to you in ways that always works to their favor. And if you're willing to tolerate it, they'll continue to be greedy. So just know it only produces bitter fruit, and you're best to get out as soon as possible or cut that person off and block them. I hope this helps somebody. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to email me a question, I am a life coach, RYTENOW666 @yahoo.com. Be happy to respond. Thank you again for listening. Rosina Starr.